I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white.
Oh, we were on tape.
Huh?
We're on tape now.
Yeah, is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. My favorite thing about Christmas is it's such a sensual holiday. The food, the lights, the decorations, the music, and just the feel-good being with your friends and family. It's just kind of magical to me.
I like all foods my mother makes, but I especially like when we used to wake up in the morning on Christmas and she would have the cinnamon ring with all of the butter icing on it. It's usually dripping with icing, and you're always trying to get the best part of the cinnamon Danish, and it's always great because everyone used to gather at the breakfast table just for that. Even though there were presents around and there was decorations, it was just fun to take that first slice with a cup of coffee and enjoy the family.
Yes, I do. I love being with family. We have so much fun on Christmas Day. We always laugh and we're opening up gifts, and Edward's always taking the wrapping paper away, putting it in the garbage. And we're all opening the gifts and having so much fun.
One memory I do have shows the magnanimous way my mom does Christmas, which I walked in coming from New York City, and I walked in the door, and each doorway I went by, I was either knocking off an ornament or I was being brushed in the face by garland. You couldn't get through the doorways. That's how packed and decorated everything was, and that was one of the things I really appreciated. But one thing I do remember is we had an advent calendar, and I remember that was more important sometimes than the gifts, because we wanted to get to the end of the advent calendar, and it was just kind of something I remember we all kind of huddled around it and looked at it, and you opened the door and it was just so much fun. I loved that. So I guess that's my memory of Christmas and my mom.
Well, you know, my cousin Dorothea said every Christmas has its own identity, and I think that's so true. Like, there's the Christmas where I put the lights on the tree, and I was going to graduate school, and then all the needles fell off the tree. We had to get another tree. So that was that kind of, and we were putting up the tree, the kids and I, you know, like on Christmas Eve. And I don't know, every Christmas is different, and I love that it has its own identity. I have this memory of when I was a child. I think I was 5 years old, and my mother got everything ready for the dinner, and then she brought me upstairs and she put on a long velvet red dress with gloves that had fingers out, but they were up to her, almost to her shoulders. And then she gave me this real pretty turquoise dress to wear. Well, it was like a light blue. And then we rushed down the stairs, and I can see her taking the turkey out of the oven, and Aunt Do and Uncle Roy were there, and we just had so much fun. And one year my parents got us all tricycles, and they let us ride through the house with the tricycles. And I remember that as really fun, although my mother then learned to hate Christmas as time went on. But in the beginning, she really loved it. And I guess I have that memory that And I just love that memory. And she let me do some of the decorations, so that was fun.
So I don't have one favorite memory. I have a bunch of memories that Grandma always made our Christmases really special, no matter what circumstances we were in. So if we had to get our Christmas tree in a shopping cart, or we could only get a gift each, or she had to work 2 jobs to get us gifts, she always has made Christmas special. And for her, I think it's all about making other people feel good and loved and special. So my memories of Mom are of her making every Christmas full of lights and pretty colors and good food, great food, and making everybody else feel special, including all of my friends to whom she sends cookies.
I think it's maybe the gift of time of being together, for the holidays, and I think that would be really the best gift.
I think one of my favorite memories of Bridget from Christmas is the fact that when she was teaching for Buffalo City Schools, she always found time to create little parties for all of her students. And she taught, in schools where there were kids who really sometimes might have been overlooked or not known that they were special or validated. And she always made an effort to create the party for them and something that was festive and joyful. And she would spend all kinds of time and energy making each one of them an ornament that they had, and then she'd write all their names on each ornament. And that was just a gift of her time and of herself. And it wasn't anything elaborate or crazy, but it really, I think, made those kids feel like she saw them as individuals and she saw them as people, and that she really cared about them. And I think demonstrating that gift and that act of giving is incredibly kind and such an act of love.
Well, there's all kinds of love. There's romantic love, like emotional love. There's family love, filial love. But I just think generically, love means that you want the best for the other person. And I think if everybody really kept that in mind, like when you do fight, you wouldn't be really mean to the other person because you do love them. And I think it puts yourself more in the background. Like if you love, like my daughter Maureen has lived away in Boston really essentially since 1982. And I miss her so much, but I love her and she's happy in Boston. And the same with Matt, he's away, and he's happy doing what he's doing in New York. And now Ed and his family, Ed and Colleen live, in Batavia, and it's so wonderful having Connor and Ann and Patrick and Celia close by, and just whatever is the best for the other person. I think that's what really love is.